Welcome to selfdiscoverymedia.com, where we discover the communities that are making a difference in the lives of others. Our self-discovery is something we are all making on our life's journey. Here you will find the people that will be your guidance, that will be your inspiration, that will be there for you in support on your journey of life. Do enjoy. Our next show is... Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everybody. Welcome back to another edition for the love of music right here on selfdiscoverymedia.com. I am your host, Sarah Troy, and my guest today is Angela Predhomme. Predhomme. Sounds like freedom, but I didn't sound it very well,
Freedom.
So I'm sorry. There we go, Predhomme. There we go, Predhomme. We're going to be sharing about her music today. She's a singer-songwriter. It's very laid-back, soulful style. I love that kind of style. It expresses emotion and honesty and passion. She has a knack for writing catchy melodies and lyrics that touch your heart and sings with the bluesy overtones that are the hint of her roots in Detroit. Her songs have been heard by millions throughout the world on television, film, radio, and major other chains. And critics include, popular Hallmark movie, Christmas on Honeysuckle Lane, Lifetime's hit show, Dance Moms, Freeform's Switched at Birth, TLC's, and Here Comes Honey Boo Boo commercials. She's got around, and she's not afraid to, whether it's a short tune or a beautiful big song. And it's all about that music that she wishes to share with you. That is something that really kind of opens up your heart, opens up your soul, warms you, guides you, nurtures you, because that's what music does. On a frequency basis, on a quantum basis, music gets in there and resets our frequency. And when you've got the lyrics and the words that are so warming and positive, it is also then something that can be extremely healing, nurturing, and sometimes just get up and dance inspiring. So whatever the song is, right? So welcome to the show, Angela.
Oh, thank you for having me. I'm so happy to be here, Sarah.
My pleasure. We will be closing out with one of your songs, and there are some of the songs here on the Self-Discovery Media blog page. With all they have to do is put in your name, and it will come up. And I encourage other people to listen to your other songs as well. But let's go back a little bit. Turn the clock back. When did music start for you? Is it always been, or is it something you had a self-discovery on?
Yeah, that's a great question, and I have kind of a long answer, so I appreciate your
We've
patience.
got an hour.
Okay, so I started playing music when I was maybe about 10. I took piano lessons. We had a piano at my house, and I loved it. And I just I really enjoyed it, and I didn't pursue that because I didn't really see a career. It's like, I know there's a path of being a concert pianist,
right?
Where it's, really, that's its own thing. It's really hardcore, and it's really, to practice 5 hours a day and, go to a special college and stuff. And I didn't feel going that route. So, and I thought, well, when I was young, I thought, well, what are my options? I don't want to be like a lounge singer or something. It just wasn't me. And I didn't sing at all. I was very shy as a kid, and I didn't sing a note. I was never in a choir or anything. I was in high school band, playing clarinet and also saxophone, but I didn't sing until I was close to 30. And then I was actually singing to my kids. I just started. I have 2 daughters, and my first one had been born, and I had music around me. My brother was in a band, and they went out and did things. So I picked up the guitar, and I wanted to learn to play the guitar, and I wanted to learn to sing. So I started doing that around the time my kids, were little. And when they were little babies, I'd sit there and try to mess with the guitar. And so, and I had another career. I had gone to school for, I was an ESL teacher, English as a second language. And, I enjoy that. It's kind of linguistics and writing and stuff. But so the self-discovery for me has been having the courage to be who I really am, because music is who I really am. Right. Music is my passion, and it comes naturally to me. I don't want to say I'm good at it, but it's relatively effortless. So, and of course I practice, I mean, I have to practice, I have to keep working on my voice, and, I have to do all that stuff, but it's in my blood, it's in my cells, it's
Mm,
in my soul, and it's, and I'm, and the creativity just bubbles up,
yeah.
it's like I can't even stop it, so I started writing music, maybe just 15 years ago or so. And when I was, had a family and everything, I hadn't ever tried to write anything, but I learned how to write music, and then I've been working on how to always get better with lyrics,
Hmm.
because lyrics are their own challenge. To
Yes.
write
Yes.
lyrics that people can relate to and people can understand. It's like I can say a bunch of stuff, but if the listener doesn't get it or doesn't follow it, it's not good for anything.
Yeah. Yeah.
So anyways, I just really sort of committed to, okay, this is one of my purposes here on this planet, and I need to just go for it, because and doors opened magically for me.
Yeah.
I mean, it just was so right. It's like I started writing music, and the second song I wrote got bought by, I submitted it to something online, and it got, somebody wanted the song in Hollywood, and like that was producing the Ellen show.
Right.
And so they bought the song outright, and I got hundreds of dollars. And I mean, that, that doesn't really happen
Yeah.
very much.
That's a
So
nice way to start.
yeah, and then whenever I felt like giving up, it's like, oh, it's so hard, nothing's happening, it's so competitive, something else would
Yeah.
happen. It's like, okay, Hallmark movie. They
Hmm.
I had put my music out there. I've been putting it out there for years in these places where the TV people find them,
Yeah.
called music libraries. And so just things would keep happening for me. And it's like, okay, I'm gonna go with this. I'm gonna go all out. And so now, I really, it's a major focus, and I put a lot of energy and effort into it, and I invest in it. I invest in quality production and things like that. And which is not who I thought I was when I was younger. I didn't see myself as a rock star. I never
Right.
wanted to be. I never I never did this with a hairbrush and pretended I was on
Yeah.
stage. That just wasn't me, But so I'm really more of a creative writer, artist person who has a decent voice.
Mm. Well,
Yeah.
the thing is, you can play a lot of instruments, and that already is giving you a different ear because each instrument has its own tone, its own channel. Your voice is another channel. It's another instrument that you've
Yeah.
discovered. So it's another instrument for you to play with. But now you're creating your own orchestra with playing the other instruments along with this instrument, which creates the harmony. And, one of the things about self-discovery is that we need to know who we are. My metaphor all the time is about what is our instrument in life? How do we learn to play it well? And which orchestra do we join that is going to resonate out as an invitation to others? And in your case, it's literal. Your voice is an
Yeah.
instrument, your instruments are an instrument, and and you're looking to create that orchestra of where your music goes, which home it goes to, who it's going to inspire. As far as movies are concerned, when you write a song that actually the song resonates with the storyline of the movie. And how many times do we watch a movie and the song stays with you afterwards? Right, because
Yeah.
you relate to it, you feel an affinity to it. It's a statement of where you're at this particular time, and that's why songs are so popular. Some just listen to the music. When I'm toning out, I'm a music person. It's not concentrating on the lyrics, it's the music that resets me. And there are those times where you need those words. You need those words because it's something speaking to your psyche, to your soul, to your spirit. It's comforting, it's articulating for you, and it's something you can sing along with that kind of is then speaking your voice. So that's why we need so much music in our lives, because it is like poetry. It is an expression of who we are, where we want to be, right? So,
Yeah, and with my lyric writing, I consider myself a musician first, so I'm
mm,
more like you. Like the
mm,
music speaks to me
mhm,
first. I love some of the classical
yeah.
composers, I don't really need the words. Sometimes the words are distracting, but I I made a conscious decision to write lyrics that would be putting out something positive in the
Yeah.
world, because if I'm going to make recordings that people are listening to all over the world, now with the digital age, and um I thought, well, I take that seriously, and I want to help or inspire or even make people think or help them to heal. Like, I have a
Mhm.
song called most of my songs are positive, but I have a song called Let It Play On While I Cry.
Mhm.
And that is like, okay, letting it out. We're going to
Yes.
let it out.
Yes. A damn good cry is good for you.
Yeah, yeah. So I try to not write about a lot, just relationship
Mm.
dramas and just unhealthy things. I mean, I'm trying to put out things that are healthy and for people's mental health that are positive.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, there's some artists that are really got all their Emmys for putting out breakup songs,
Yeah.
right? But we either want makeup songs or songs that are, love songs to us. People think the
Yeah.
love song has to be to someone else. You cannot attract the love that you want until you be the love that you want. And if there's a song that can help you love you and get on that frequency, speak to you and nurture and embrace you, that's where you need to go before you kind of go out there looking for love.
Yeah. And you're gonna like my song Beautiful Truth, because that's about
Mm.
that. That's it says there's a beautiful truth in you.
Hmm.
And it's about loving your and accepting yourself, because people are so hard on
Oh,
themselves. People are
yes.
self-critical, and yeah.
Yeah. Well, that is a societal dictation, an expectation. And
Yeah.
even in the music world, are you a Taylor, Taylor Hicks, whatever her name is?
Swift.
Are you this? Are you an Adele? Are you that? No, you are you.
Thank
They're
you.
right.
Everybody's always trying to put me in a box and
Exactly.
compare.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
I'm not any of those
No,
people. Yeah.
no, you're Angela doing Angela. I'm
Exactly.
Sarah. There's over a million podcasts out there. I'm Sarah. It's my style. It's my instrument. And
We're on the
I'm
same page with that. Yeah.
right. So that's so important though, because people, especially in this business, are always trying to be like someone. And
Hmm.
it isn't. We want you to be your beautiful, unique self, even if you're broken, even if you've got cracks. You know, a diamond that has a flaw is actually worth more. And if we can, with all our flaws, come forth and still love ourselves and have love enough to give to someone else, that I think is the most divine beauty that we can be and can share.
Yeah, I totally agree with that.
So
Yeah.
your music is reflected from that.
Yes. Yes. It's complicated. When I'm creating the music, there's a lot of different levels. There's the music itself,
Hmm.
which has its own vibration,
Hmm.
which hopefully the music and the chord changes and the melody, that alone can be uplifting. So that can just get into people's hearts and speak to people, but then the lyrics should match that,
Hmm.
so that's what I try and do. And then so I have these thoughts about what I want to write, and then they have to rhyme, and so it's a little bit of a labor sometimes, but to fit everything in there. But yeah, my goal always is to get a message out that
Mm.
is positive. And I just love what you're saying about how we can be ourselves. We don't have to fit into anything, because in the music world, wow, do they want to put you
Mm.
in a box,
Oh boy, no
like,
box
especially,
allowed here.
yeah, especially radio formats.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, there's country radio, there's pop
Hmm.
radio, and not a whole lot in between. Yeah.
No, no,
Yeah.
and it's a competitive thing against each other, and it's God forbid you should go out if you're known for one genre and you should go and do another genre. You've betrayed your genre, you know. It's like get over you, folks. We're so much more than one song, or one tune,
Exactly.
and embrace, the fact that somebody is trying something new or going down a different avenue. They're going to bring all the beauty and all the creativity of themselves to that. Be willing to go down another journey with them, another road with them. Just because you love that song and they come out with another song now, there's no betrayal there. It's called expansion, exploration. wonderment.
Exactly. I think that expanding into different areas and trying different things or different genres is important, and I think that it's chasing money if you
Mm,
don't. It's
yeah,
like, okay, my
and
last
fame.
my last album was good, so I'm going to repeat that kind of thing.
Right.
But I think that our spirits do want to expand and
Hmm.
grow. And Taylor Swift went from country to pop.
Yes.
And if somebody is creative, if somebody's good at one, if they're a real artist,
Hmm.
they're going to be good at the other one. And Ray Charles did that. He was known for his R&B stuff, and then he went in jazz, and then he did country. So there are people, the people who are really good. Yeah, they can do other genres, and if their followings don't love it, oh well, it's like they have to be true to themselves.
Yeah, you don't have to like every song. I mean, there's music I've
Exactly.
listened to the first time and I did, I wasn't in tune with it. And then
Yeah.
I've been in a different frame of mind and I've heard it again and now I've been in sync with it. So,
Oh, that's interesting.
and it, it doesn't
Yeah.
mean you dislike the artist or dislike the song, is that it just perhaps was the wrong song for you in that moment. Give it a try
Yeah.
again?
And there's a lot of factors, with recorded music. It's like the production.
Yeah.
Like if you look at a song, like Yesterday by the Beatles,
Hmm.
that has been covered so many different times in so many different ways. And so, you can do it with violins, you can do it with a crazy pop beat.
Yeah.
It's like the song is the song. And I think that we do gravitate toward tastes of style and
Yeah.
genre. I don't
Yeah.
like the heavy beats that my kids
Mhm.
listen to. I would rather listen to some more mellow things
Yeah.
than like EDM,
Hmm.
electronic dance music. That's just not me. Um, and but it's all music, it's all good. And if we don't resonate with all of it, that's fine.
Yeah. And as we get older, we're inclined, I'm a 70s chick, so 70s music for me, is my
Yeah.
decade that I grew. And we had a broad range at that time of music where we did go more into the psychedelic and, storytelling and everything else. And that music still today, it can be heard from the new generation and still mean something. And that's really what you want, isn't it? Is your music that it doesn't matter, it transcends time, it transcends age and decades, is that it's a song that someone can listen to 20 years, 30 years down the road and go, it's still speaking to me.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So yeah, I agree with that completely. There is a timelessness
Mm,
to music, and there's really two different things. It's like to, music or the song. So
mhm,
the song itself with its melody and its lyrics and its qualities of chord changing, like songs like Yesterday and the
mm,
Beatles, and those are timeless. And so even if production might become
mm.
outdated,
Yeah, yeah.
if they may
Hairstyles become
produce some.
outdated.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, that's a measure of a good song,
Yeah.
definitely, is if they just keep on lasting, like the jazz standards.
Mm,
I mean, those are amazing songs.
yes. There's a young man I interviewed called Justin Johnson, and he's a guitarist, Americana blues, and people make guitars for him. They made out of spades or out of cans or out of car parts, and as long as
Oh,
it's got
wow.
strings, he can make music out of it.
That's so
And
cool.
it's just, I think it's as a musician. If you were given a broken down piano or a perfect piano, it doesn't matter. You will find a way to make music out of it because the music's in you. The instrument is just, transferring what's in you out to others.
Oh, exactly. Yeah. I mean, I hear all this stuff in my head,
Hmm.
and then just translating it to, well, so it's there as energy and thought
Mm.
and feeling. And then you have to get it into form,
Yes.
so we have to put it into this form somehow. And that's just a technicality.
Yep.
That's just like learning to use your Microsoft Word so you can
Hmm.
write.
The more you do it, the
So,
better you are.
yeah, and the 70s, that music is great. A lot of
Uh-huh.
those things, like the Eagles and
Hmm.
just so
Blood, Sweat, and
good.
Tears, and The Doors, and yeah, there's songs to this day that still, does one moment I hear them, I'm transformed. Um,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
what's also nice is when somebody takes a song and covers it. the
Hmm.
respect. It's not like they're stealing it. Oh, they stole it. No, they're covering it because they thought it was so good. They want
Yeah.
to represent it too. So it is actually a compliment, isn't it?
Oh, it's a tribute, definitely.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they may change it up to their style, but it is a compliment, because that means that you're doing something that inspired them that they now want to share with other people. And
Yeah.
that's, we want people to share. We're in a sharing world. There isn't one social media or anything out there without the share button. So when
Exactly.
when you've heard a piece of music or you've heard a song, oh, you got to listen to this, or this made me feel this way, or this is speaking to the times, and you share it. That means that somebody else is picking up that vibration from that person through that music, and it inspires them. And so,
Yeah, and we are a social,
yeah.
we're a social race, I
Mm,
mean, we're social creatures, like bees or wolves live in packs. And I
mm,
mean, we need each other. And a lot
yeah.
of people, they may try to cut themselves off from people, but we're meant to share
Yeah.
and help each other and, and grow through each other and everything like that is what
Hmm.
I believe.
Yeah, and with social media, it's made it dead easy for us to share, right? So,
Yeah, yeah. Social media is its own thing. It's like,
mm.
it can bring out the best or the worst in people.
Yeah, it's an
Yeah.
algorithm, and so the algorithm you feed is what will grow. So if you're going to respond with all the hate, this, that, etc., that is what the algorithm is going to keep bringing you. If you're
Yeah.
sharing out the love and you're celebrating, the beautiful triumphs of people, and you're there for people, sharing all that uplifts us, that's what the algorithm will feed. So it's
Oh, okay.
whether it's social media or not, we are the algorithm creatures. That's the vibration. So if you want people to receive you in a certain vibe, that's the vibe that you will resonate out, and that's the vibe they will connect with. So if you don't want the
Yeah.
hate and heavy metal and the anger songs, then you're not going to put that out there, and you're not going to get it back. You're not going to get that audience.
Yeah. Although I do see it on Facebook sometimes with political stuff, but you
Yeah.
know, but
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't get involved in that.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
The song I listened to of yours is is it the Changing Skies?
Changeless
Changeless
sky.
Skies, yes. And I really liked that. Is that one of yours?
Yes. Changeless sky is a love song.
Mm,
And I wrote that I've been married for a while now. And when you're married for more than a few years, you start to kind of get into this really deeper love.
mhm.
And so changeless sky is about no matter what is going on in the world and in our lives and the you know traumas and dramas and I am your rock.
Right.
So that song is saying my love is a rock, and it will not change regardless, and it's so deep and so strong. And so yeah, that's what changeless sky is about.
Hmm. Yeah, it's a very nice one.
Oh,
So
thanks.
do recommend that. You've done a cover of, Stay With Me. It's a beautiful song, Stay With Me.
It
You
is,
sing
yeah.
it beautifully as well.
Oh,
But
thanks.
what made you go to that one?
um I in the live performances I have been doing, I always like that song. And when you play out at restaurants and things like that, they people enjoy covers.
Hmm.
They like to have all originals. If I'm playing a gig or a festival or something, a lot of times people want the covers, they want to hear something they know. So I just have some covers that I do. And I had been doing that Sam Smith song Stay With Me, and I kind of had my own version of it that was kind of mellow and way more me. And I thought, this is pretty cool, maybe I should record this.
Hmm.
So then I just made a recording of that, and I added a harmony, which I can't do live, there's only one me. but
Right.
but yeah,
Yeah.
so I added a harmony on the recording. And so yeah, it's just one that I had been doing for live shows, and I decided that it would be good to record it and put it out there because I kind of like my version of it.
Yeah, no, it's very, very nice. And the thing about it too is by putting out some songs they can relate to, when you interject your own songs, they're more receptive because they're already
Yeah,
in groove with you.
yeah, yeah. That's a whole thing in itself. It'll make people listen And so I've seen people, if I've been doing originals somewhere, some venues are original friendly and
Mm,
some are not.
mm,
And so I've seen people be walking away and turn back around when I've
mm.
done a cover. But that just depends on the venue
Yeah,
and the situation.
it
But yeah,
always is
people
that way.
definitely want to hear what they know, and I don't blame them,
Right. So Good to Be Free is going to be your new release this summer.
Oh no,
No,
that
but
one is out.
that one is out already. Okay.
Yeah, that was out July 31st.
Last summer. Okay.
Yes.
So tell me all about that.
Oh, okay. That song is really gaining momentum.
Mm,
So first I'll tell you about the music and then I'll tell you about the lyrics. So my dad is a Bo Diddley fan.
hmm.
Okay. And do you know about the Bo Diddley beat?
Not really. I probably
So it's
will if
like
if I hear it, but not
so
really
it's
know
like
about it.
da 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 da
Hmm.
da da. So that rhythm,
Hmm.
they have a name for it called the
Hmm.
Bo Diddley beat because he made that really famous. Um, so anyways, I wanted to do a song with the Bo Diddley beat for my dad. So that's where the music came from. But the lyrics are completely separate. The lyrics are just me. Um, and it goes, "Oh, it's so good to be free. Your rules don't apply to me."
Mm.
Um, and that is about the freedom that comes from being yourself.
Yes.
Because I just
Yes.
decided, who am I trying to please? And as a music artist, people expect certain things,
Yeah.
and it's like, oh, you're supposed to look this way or act this
Yeah.
way or be this way or do this kind of music. And I thought, I don't care. I just want to be who I am. I'm
Mm.
not going to be forced to follow trends. And I just don't want, I just want to be who I am. And so that song is yeah, just about the freedom of not worrying what other people think. And it's great. It's so
Yeah.
freeing.
That is
Yeah,
one of the most freeing things you can actually ever have. Permission to be me. I don't need permission. I give myself permission. That freedom
exactly.
of my permission to be me. As I say, I'm not everybody's cup of tea. I'm a cup of strong black coffee. You can take me or leave me. I will not be offended, but I'm not going to change me for you. Been
Exactly.
there, done that, and threw me off balance, and I wasn't happy. A happier me is the better for you, right? So
Exactly.
be
Exactly.
free
We
to be
have to be
you.
true. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. No, we need that song. We're in a world at the present moment that's in transition. Part of the COVID, and again, I say in every show, this, the people that have lost people, the people that have died, so many
Mhm.
people have lost businesses. That is heartbreaking. My heart goes out to them. But it's also the Haglas rune, Celtic rune Haglas is disruption. And before you can have clarity, you have to have disruption. You want a new surface where you've got to clean away the old. And a part of what we're going through right now is this transition of what really is serving me. What is really important? Do I want to go back to that? Where is my real voice? Where is my freedom? Right.
Exactly.
And
Yeah.
so the more songs we have that encourage that and that speak of that, it is more that it's giving permission to learn that you don't need permission to be you, right? Just
Yeah,
because you don't fit
exactly.
into society the way society dictates that you should be, just be you. You're good enough.
Exactly. And I think, that song was also a reaction to um, the pressure that, women feel especially.
Mm.
But I mean, our society is so unhealthy,
Oh,
so unhealthy, and the priorities and appearance and money and status and power, all that stuff. I mean, what our society and, TV and media,
mm.
I mean, what is generally promoted is so unhealthy. And,
Yeah.
I just don't believe in that, you know?
And who, who wrote my life for me? Who told me I
Yeah,
should be this way? Why?
exactly.
Who benefits from that? Because I don't, right?
Yeah,
It's somebody else's agenda. And
yeah,
it may have started off with kind of some basic foundational rules in the way to live life, and treat each other. And then it became competitive, and then it became judgmental. and critical, and then all of a sudden we're turning on each other left, right, and center all the time instead of caring and seeing each other and all our beautiful differences and realizing
Exactly.
how wonderful we are in our own uniqueness, which is very important. So we
Yeah, I've
listen to
seen
these songs.
yeah, I've seen so many people just really struggle with
Mm,
trying to be what they think they're supposed to be.
yeah,
And yeah, when we let that go, it is very freeing.
yeah,
And it's a big thing, even in, lifestyle and just everything,
yeah,
you know.
yeah. And especially as a musician, it's a big industry. If you're going out there for the fame and the fortune and the Emmy, or the Grammy rather, then you're doing it for the wrong reason. But if you're going out
Exactly.
there to express your heart, your soul, your spirit, to uplift another, to be there in support of another, that's really where you're a true musician, a true artist.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm finding that, that is a balance. I do have to be realistic with
Mm,
my music, like I can't write not that I want to, but I can't write a 7-minute song.
mm,
There's no American Pies going
mm-hmm,
over now, like that song. So if you want the song to be heard, or possibly radio play or anything, there are certain,
yeah.
limitations and restrictions. Um, and then a song also can't be 1 minute, you know.
Mm.
So so I'm doing art, but I am fitting it into, what is accepted in the culture.
So basically, what you can do if you have a 7-minute song is there's the 3-minute version for the radio, but for the
Yeah,
album,
yeah,
it can go 7 minutes,
that's a
right?
good idea. Yeah.
That because it's your art, you can do what you like with it. You have another one here, Graced with You. Is that right?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. That's a fun one. So fun in a very chill way. I'm just saying I had fun creating that one.
Hmm.
Okay, so that one is another love song, and see, my previous album was called Love,
Hmm.
and that means, like the hippie kind of love, like
Hmm.
love, peace, and be loving. And so then, after that album, I started to do a couple love songs. So Grace with You, Change the Sky, those are both love songs. So Good to Be Free is a love song for myself.
Hmm.
But Grace with You is another love song, and um, it's it's very mellow and it's very classical. So my background is classical piano, and I also took classical voice lessons. When I started singing, I took lessons with an opera teacher. And so, that's called classical singing. So I learned all that stuff. So, anyways, I wrote Grace with You, and it's a waltz. So it's a very waltz, like Chopin kind of thing.
Hmm.
And, I put a very delicate little pretty vocal on there. And then I had met a string player in Nashville, and she does recordings for pop artists and pop songs. So, anyways, I just got with some friends, and someone who had arranged strings in the past for me did an arrangement. And then this person that I met, Rachel Aiken, she recorded the string parts. It's viola and violin. So it's this very pretty, pretty
Hmm.
song. It's very pretty. It's very mellow. It's very delicate. It's far from pop.
Hmm.
um, so yeah, it's this waltz, and there's strings, and I sing in a very light way, like in this, like in my higher voice.
Hmm.
Um, so yeah, so that's Grace with You.
And that would be actually a nice first dance at a wedding.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it would.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because
that's a good
you
thought.
it is that waltz that people are doing,
Hmm.
that that soft romantic number before, the volume gets turned up and everybody starts grooving. It's always
Yeah,
that one. So it's nice to have something that is kind of meaningful and has a little more depth, to it. So,
yeah. And that's just another thing that that song is not something that would be top 10.
right.
I mean, So Good to Be Free is really catchy and upbeat
Mm,
and fun. But yeah, Grace with You is far from what's popular, even for singer-songwriters.
hmm
Even, it's not like anything that I know of that's out there. And I
Right.
just wanted to do it. I just
Right.
wanted to do it and I did it. And, it doesn't have a whole lot of streams on my streaming as much as the other songs, but that's okay because, but it's something that I wanted to do. Even
Right.
it doesn't fit what's popular.
Right. But again, that first dance,
Exactly.
it is one of those songs that it becomes synonymous with, and it's that gentle song of love. And, everything doesn't have to be the same. Um,
Yeah, exactly. I mean, and that's the thing, people have said about some of my past albums. I've done 5 albums now, and pretty much all of my albums are very
mhm,
diverse. And I have different kind of styles on there. Some of my past albums, I have a couple rock type songs, and that's just because the musicians I was working with were more in that genre, and I was good with that. I wanted
mm,
it to be. Um, and I found that even if somebody says these songs are really like, a couple people have thought that they're too different to be on the same album,
mhm,
and I have kind of a rebellious attitude about being myself. It's like
yeah.
I don't care.
Yeah.
This
I,
is what I'm doing. This is my art.
yes.
And if I want to do a very classical song, and then if I want to do a very pop song and put them on the same album, that's what I'm going to do. Because I just feel like making that.
exactly. And that's your
Yeah,
expression. That's your art. I
exactly.
have a podcast network. I have 16, 17 genres here, and each one is
Wow.
it's a different topic. You're not only in the sense of the drama, like this one, For the Love of Music. So this is dedicated to musician and artists. We have other ones that are more to this or more to that. So, whatever you're feeling that you need to know, you can go to that. So it's the same with your album. I need this song right now. I need that song right now. You don't need the same song just regurgitated in a different way right through the album. You want the album
Yeah.
to be able to express the very many moods of you, right?
Yeah. And it goes back to my intention with making music. My intention is self expression
Hmm.
rather than trying to fit the mold
Yeah.
of hits and follow popular artists and things like that. So with my intention and the music I make just being what I want to do, um, it's possible I've paid a price for that, because I'm not fitting into what Nashville says
Hmm.
is popular right now, and you've got to do this and that and this, and then you're going to get signed and get radio play and blah blah blah. But I would
You're not doing
rather,
it for that. You're doing it,
yeah,
you're doing you.
exactly. I
Right.
would rather, I don't think I would enjoy that. I don't think
Right.
that I would enjoy making music for the purpose of it to be hits. If that was my goal, it's like, okay, I'm going to write a hit song, you know, for that purpose. That's not the same as me expressing myself, you know.
We see this all the time I love watching talent shows because I love to see people who may be a little rough around the edges and then kind of in that discovery through being coached or being nurtured. And, it's the traditional thing. You get somebody that's very technical and they sing beautifully, but where's that rarity? Where's that feeling? Where's that connection behind it? And then you'll see an artist with that connection, that honesty that people have voted for because they really feel, that connection with the person. And then the record label takes them down a different road and tries to commercialize them. And they lose themselves along the way and they lose the passion and the love for it or the expression for who they are. And it's like, I never understand that. We, the public, voted for that person because that person sang from their soul and their heart and they brought meaning to it. Why are you trying to take them down a different road to fit them in a
Money,
box?
money. That's why.
Exactly.
Yeah,
But if I've already bought them this
yeah,
way because I voted for them. Why aren't you giving me more of who they are and their creativity than trying to categorize them in another area? Because I'm not going to buy that. It's disappointing,
exactly.
So I think that record labels, especially with so many people coming out with independent music, it really is a time for them to reflect what they're putting out. And are they being true to the artist? Because when you are a follower of someone, you're going to follow them. They're speaking to you. That's the music that they want to hear. for the label to come in and then change it all, it's like it's dishonoring both the listener and the artist.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I totally agree with that. I think that being true to ourselves, I am staunch about
Mhm.
that. I will not be true to myself,
Right.
because I have a life.
Hmm.
I'm married. I have two daughters and dog and cat, and I'm not looking to uproot myself to
Right.
New York or
Yeah.
Nashville or anything. And I think that the digital age is so cool because
Yes.
I can make these creations and put them out there, and people are finding them, and
Mm.
people are adding them on their Spotify or Apple
Mm.
Music, and so the music is really getting out there and really reaching people, and that I'm just doing it from my home mostly, and I'm doing it on my terms.
Yes.
It's wonderful.
Yeah. And we're
Yeah, it's
in that
great.
world. I mean, again, the gift of COVID is, Zoom. It's one of the industries I want to thank. I mean, I used it beforehand, but it's just opened up
Mm-hmm.
everybody to the fact that, all right, you can't physically go and see each other, but we are all frequency, we are all vibration. And as we are talking right now, doesn't mean there's any less connection than it would be if we were
Yeah.
in the same room. And that, I think, what is so wonderful about the digital age is the fact that, people can put out a YouTube, they can put out a Zoom thing on YouTube or anything, or Spotify or anything else, and people are looking for that.
Yeah.
They can't go to concerts right now, but you can create a concert in their own life, in the car, at home, just with their being. And that's the beautiful thing of it, because it's available, it's reaching everybody. And it means that it goes further afield than it would than if it was just in one town and one concert, back in the bus, off you go again. Not diminishing. I mean, concerts are great. They're absolutely fabulous. But if that's all you're relying on, I've interviewed a lot of what I call working actors. And
Mm.
you have the actors, the 10-20 million dollar actors, and it's so, are they going to be as good as their last movie, and how many of those are out there? But you see the actors where you've seen them in another show, you can't quite remember which one, but they're working actors because they're constantly in a show somewhere, and they've got a steady employment for that. And when you're your own boss in music or anything else that you choose to be, you can dictate your steadiness according to how fast you want to go or where you want to go. But this digital world, once you put it out there, it's just a question of click share and off it goes.
I know. Yeah, it is pretty amazing. And I totally agree with you about, I mean, COVID has been, a tragedy, and the people
Mm.
that have lost loved ones, I really feel for them. Um, but the benefit of people doing more on video
Mm-hmm.
and Zoom or
Mm-hmm.
whatever platform is
Mm-hmm.
is really wonderful.
Yes.
I think that it's moving the world in the right
Yeah.
direction in that way, because look at rush hours.
Yes.
They're horrible.
Yeah.
They're horrible. And the pollution of all the
Yes.
cars
The waste of
and
time. The
exactly. Yeah.
frustration.
Yeah. So, I think that there's still, something to in-person connection, but people have seen an alternative. And if
Yeah.
even if when this whole thing is over and everybody's vaccinated, even if people are spending a third of the time at home working, that would cut way down
Yeah.
on the pollution and the rush hours, and because that stuff is just unhealthy.
Yeah.
We just don't need that.
It's been a wonderful redirect in that thing of showing, that what the alternatives are. And
Exactly.
for some people it's doomsday, and it's no, it's that you just got to learn to pivot. Those that survive and those that thrive are those that are willing to pivot, willing to go with the direction that's available right now. And everybody would love, no matter what work they're in, to sustain themselves, be true to who they are, and be able to still honor the why they're doing it. And but it does mean that sometimes you have to alter. You can't go off to restaurants and play right now, right? But that doesn't mean you have to lose your audience. Because if you're putting the music out there, they've already seen you, they know who it is. You're still entertaining them through YouTube or Spotify or iTunes or whatever else. They can still hear you. And so,
Oh yeah, it's so much easier. I mean, it's so much easier to do videos of
mm,
me playing live,
yeah,
because I did a tour, like a little regional Midwestern tour, the end of, fall 2019 and early 2020. And it just so happened that it wrapped up in January,
Mm,
and then, then COVID hit.
yeah.
But it was a lot of effort.
Hmm.
I mean, I would drive to Cincinnati or something and play, pretty decent gig there, but because I'm near Detroit, so that's about 5 hours away,
Yeah.
maybe 4 hours. But I went through a lot of effort, and the amount of people that you're reaching, it's
Hmm.
like the driving and the time and the expense, and the amount of people that you're reaching isn't huge.
Hmm.
And then it's over.
Yeah.
Then it's over. But see, with the video, that can go all around the world, and
Hmm.
it's out there forever.
And it could
And
be repeated and repeated and repeated.
exactly.
Not one
Yeah,
performance and
yes.
goodbye. It's there for as long as you want it at a fingertip. Just press play.
Yeah. So I mean, live music, live music his, it really is a unique
Mm,
category, because a lot of people that go to concerts, it's an experience. It's like a
yeah.
party time.
Yeah.
At least it's that way like in the country world. And I don't
Hmm.
consider myself country, but people will go and it's an event and they get
Hmm.
riled up in the crowd and people are going along with songs and things like that. Um So, I mean, you could say that's a form of artistry from the artist, but I mean,
Hmm.
it's entertainment.
Right.
And I guess I kind of see entertainment as different than artistry.
Hmm.
Even though, there are people that have been amazing at all of those things, like Prince and
Yes.
Michael Jackson.
Hmm.
They
Ed
were
Sheeran.
real.
Ed Sheeran. He could
Yeah.
be
Oh, Ed
on his
Sheeran.
own, in a huge big concert place, just himself. And he can carry that artistry out to a crowd. But there
Yeah.
are few that can, right?
Yeah. So some people are really good
Yeah.
performers. I mean, like people like Kid Rock or something,
Yeah.
I'm in Detroit. The crowd loves it. They have a
Yeah.
good time. They go, they love it. So entertaining, yeah, I just see that as a whole different thing than
Hmm.
artistry. And so I'm honored and flattered if, I play a show and people want to just come listen,
Hmm.
like the way you would for jazz or for Nora
Yes.
Jones or something, because
Yes.
I'm not trying to get everybody all riled up and
Hmm.
raise our glasses and stuff like that. But
Yeah. I mean,
yeah,
if you are stuck in a traffic jam, do you want to be hearing rah, rah, rah music? No, it's going to frustrate you even more. You're already frustrated with the bumper to bumper. That's the time you need the calm music. That is the
yeah,
time you need the music that just cools you down, chills you out. It doesn't matter. You'll get home eventually.
exactly.
We
Yeah,
need more of that in the world. There's, for some reason, for so long, anything that was kind of gentle and that touched the heart and the soul was something that, insipid, we don't want to hear that. But the soul has been crying for it for so long. The soul has been crying and the heart has been crying for music that speaks to them, to the heart and
yeah,
soul, right? Not just to the jive of the dance. That has its place. We are trying to express ourselves right now. We're in that self-discovery of who are we right now. We don't know what's out there. But one thing that COVID has done for this year has shown us that nothing is guaranteed and we don't know where we're going. But it is up to us what we create for ourselves. And the more inspirational songs that we hear that back us up, that bring us out, that show us that we can. It doesn't matter if you've never done it before. How do you know if you can do it unless you try? You didn't know
yeah,
you could sing until you decided you were going to sing, right?
yeah,
So it's that
yeah,
courage and that strength to say, okay, I don't care what has been, I'm going to create what will be.
yeah. And I had to sort of do my own thing with that too, because by the time I started putting out music, I was well over 30, or maybe even, yeah, I was probably almost 40 when I started putting
Mhm.
out music. And society says, "What are you doing? You're too old." You
Uh,
know, and
no,
it's like,
no,
I
no
don't I don't
ageism
care.
allowed.
It's
Yeah,
like, I don't care.
yeah,
This is what I have to offer.
exactly.
This is my art. I'm meant to do this, and I'm going to do it and put it out there.
Good for you.
Yeah.
Um, it kind of used to be you reach 40, 50. Nobody wanted to see you. Yeah, even when I was going to do video, I did 5 or 6 years just audio beforehand. And then a friend taught me into doing video shows as well. And my first comment was, well, who wants to see an old broad like me out there? And then
That's the negative
literally,
self-talk.
yeah, that was the expectation. And they, the soul voice came through and said, but it's not about the way you look, it's about the content. And if they cannot hear the content because of the way you look, they're not ready for the content. Right? So you're
Yeah,
going
and
to
I
sing
feel
and perform to the people that are ready to hear what you have to say.
yeah, and the good thing about music is that it's audio.
Yes.
I mean, music is audio, and I have never been one to be overly concerned with image.
Mm-hmm.
It's like I just don't care about that stuff,
Yeah.
trying to look a certain way for, the public image of an artist, or trying to, I never wanted to be something that I'm not. And I see it as, if I made myself look, really cool, or, wigs, or I don't know, if I made myself look very hip and modern, the people that I would attract, I don't know if those are the people that really would resonate with the music anyway.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
so I think the people that enjoy your show, they don't care
Right.
about appearances,
No.
because it is about the content. But there are
Yes.
people out there who are superficial, who
Oh, yeah.
do care about appearances and age and
Mm.
status and all those things. And I'm okay if those people aren't, a
Your
big part of my
audience.
world. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. And, with it's been for so long, well, how many people do you reach? And I always say all those that are ready to listen.
Exactly.
Right now, whether it's one show, whether it's a dozen show, whether it's hundreds of shows, listenings, it's for the people ready to hear that at that time, and people will know it. And it's like with your music, they may not be in the mood for this right now, and then suddenly they hear your music, or they come across it, oh, that is just what I needed to hear right now. And now they become a fan, and they want to know what else you can do. And that's the whole
Yeah.
point. We have become so instant that it's my gratification, boop, has to be there right now. I don't want to cruise for it. I don't want to
Exactly.
explore it. I want it right now. Give it to me. And we've lost that wonderful thing of exploration. When we explore what else there is out there, we discover such incredible, wonderful things. And if people are willing to discover all 5 albums of yours, where do they go to find your music? Because they want to know your whole repertoire.
Okay. Well, I just want to warn him that the later stuff is better than the early stuff.
It's up to each person what they get out of
Yeah,
it, right?
exactly. So, well, on whatever streaming app they use, if they use Apple Music or Spotify or Pandora or any, it's on all of them, Deezer in Europe and things like that. So they would just search for my name, which is Angela, and then it's Predhomme. So it's French. It's like Prudhomme, but it's an E there. So it's
Right.
Predhomme. And luckily it's a pretty unique name. And if
Mm.
people search for my name, they'll find my music
And you've got
on
a
wherever they like to
website?
listen.
You have a
Yes, I have a
website?
website that's angelapredom.com. I have a YouTube and social media, which is usually my name. On Instagram is the only one that's different. I'm a Predom. But all the other ones like YouTube and everything, I'm Angela Predom, and that's easy to find my channel.
All right. So you're on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube.
Yes.
It's
Yeah.
Pandora Music, iTunes, Apple, Spotify, and of course your site, www.angelapredom.com. And so they can find you anywhere and find all your music there.
Yep. Yep.
So which song are we going to close up with? Because as I said, when people go into your show page, they're going to see 2 or 3 songs there that they can listen to. Which song would you like to close out with?
Well, according to our conversation, um, I think "So Good to Be Free" would be great. The
Yeah.
freedom that comes from being yourself.
Amen. Amen to that. We cannot buy freedom. We can't be an activist of freedom. Freedom is in our own actionism. And freedom is of your own spirit, your own soul, your own heart, of being you. And so
Exactly.
many people are seeking it out there. It's an inside job. And if we've got music, words, lyrics, anything that speaks to that, ignites it within us, it is setting us free to discover our freedom. And that's what we need.
Exactly. And, we get freedom when we learn to control our thoughts and choose our
Mm,
thoughts, because we can sit around and think about all this negative stuff. And,
yeah.
but if you pivot away from that and choose to focus on what's good, and it's like, no, I'm not going to dwell on that thing. I'm going to look at the positive in this
Yes.
moment right now. That is freeing too.
Yeah. And as you
Yeah.
said, you've even got a song there where you can have a damn good cry, because sometimes we need that. I mean,
Yeah.
sometimes you just need a cry for even no reason. It's just a release.
Yeah.
Have that cry. There's nothing wrong in crying and shedding tears. There's nothing wrong in saying, I'm down today and I need a hug. Even if it's
Yeah.
hugging yourself, nothing wrong with that. Where it gets complicated is if you get stuck there and
Yeah,
you don't move
exactly.
on. So,
Yeah. Gotta
that's the
let it
important
out,
thing. Let
I
it
mean,
out.
if you're stuffing everything down, and, and trying to have a brave face and be strong, it's like, just have a good cry, let it out. When that's happened to me, I felt so much better
Yeah.
after, and you can release it. It helps you
Yes.
release it.
Yes. And
Yeah.
then, then a lovely nurturing song that just kind of wraps its arms around you and says, there, I've got you.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, which is important. Music, I know for me, is my soul connection. If I feel off balance, I feel off kilter, music is what puts me back. Sometimes it's the lyrics, sometimes it's just the music, but it always recenters me. And I had wonder kind of why is it so important? We've got to think about we are all energetic beings. We constantly are in frequency. The energy that we beget is the frequency of high or low. If we're feeling low, the right kind of music can lift our frequency right back up to that higher hertz of love, self-love, love of life, love, love, love. And we want to be there because that's the happy place. But we want to
Yeah.
be there organically, naturally, and from the inside out. You cannot buy love. It's, yeah,
Exactly. Yeah. It's a journey within yourself, and
yeah,
it takes a little bit of discipline,
yeah,
you know.
yeah, yeah. And some self-discovery of just how awesome you really are. And,
Exactly.
and we are all awesome. We've just been conditioned not to be so. So,
I know. I know. Yeah, I totally agree with you. Yeah.
well, thank you so much for sharing with us here today, Angela.
Oh, you're welcome. It's been so nice.
And we're going to close out with your song, Freedom. We will need that. And as I said, everybody comes back to selfdiscoverymedia.com and simply puts in your name. Your show page will come up, and a few of the other songs that we've talked about today will be on there as well. And, tune in, let it lift you up, let it nurture you, let it inspire you. And please go back to her site and look to see what else she has there. Music is something that is so liberating, so nurturing, and it is something that just speaks to something that you can't articulate yourself. So let it be, right? That's another
Yes.
Beatles song. Let it be. Let the music let you be. All right. Well, thank
Yeah.
you so much, Lev. It's been a pleasure having
Oh,
you on.
you're welcome. Thank you.
Thank you. Until next time, folks. Bye for now.
Oh, it's so good to be free. Your rules don't apply to me, no. I blow away all the pressure to measure up to what don't mean nothing. Oh, it's so good to be free, yeah. No slave to society, no. I realize that to fit in is quitting on the one and only me. Oh, I'm freest as me. I don't need the look or the trend. I'll be the least cool of my friends. You can have all that, I won't please the pack, 'cause I'm free to be whatever I choose to be. Oh, it's so good to be free, letting life grow with such ease, yeah. What used to cause me to stress out, I'm blessed now, 'cause that stuff don't own me. Oh, I'm finally free. I'll be the least cool of my friends. You can have all that, I won't please the pack, 'cause I'm free. Be whatever I choose to be. Oh, it's so good to be free. Your rules don't apply to me. No, no, I blow away all the pressure to measure up to what don't need nothing. Oh, I'm finally free.
We hope that you enjoyed the show. You will hear many, many shows here on selfdiscoverymedia.com. We have new shows for you out every week. Just find them on our podcast or What's New. If you feel that you have something to share that makes a difference in the lives of others, or you too feel that you could be a host, please contact me at info@selfdiscoverymedia.com and we will be glad to speak with you. Have a wonderful day.